These days, everyone seems eager to play the expert, whether it's on medicine, the law, politics, or business. Scroll for 2 minutes and you'll find someone preaching about some new investment scheme or some quick cure using a trick they swear doctors don't want you to know. And it doesn't stop there. You see it in real life too. At a traffic stop, people often play the expert, confidently arguing laws and procedures they think exist while insisting they know their rights, and then finding out the hard way just how ill-informed they were.
You're not allowed to leave.
You're not allowed to touch me. I know my rights. So under the law, you have to give me proof that I'm
I don't got to do nothing like that.
Yes, you do.
Okay?
Go ahead, 105.
Oh! Back up! Back
He's
up! Back up! I told you not to go. You were detained. Okay? Now you're under arrest for obstruction.
Excuse me, sir. Why am I detained? You're not going to tell me? Do you know that's against the law? Isa! Isa, come get me!
That confidence is contagious, if not a little foolhardy, but it points to a reality that's becoming more and more difficult to ignore. People everywhere have lost faith in experts. It's been building for quite a while now, and the reasons for it are complex. Research shows that trust in experts has been waning for a long time. A chapter published on ResearchGate notes that declining trust in scientific experts has been underway for many years, even decades. In 2016, the decline became difficult to ignore. During the Brexit campaign, British politician Michael Gove famously said the public had had enough of experts.
I think the people in this country have had enough of experts with organisations from acronyms
people of this
saying...
country have had enough of experts.
From organisations with acronyms saying that they know what is best and getting it consistently wrong.
According to analysis in The Conversation, that moment revealed the existing mistrust by showing how expert authority had become politically contested, even toxic. So what caused this erosion? Across studies, 4 themes appear repeatedly. First is eroding trust in institutions. Experts are often tied to institutions such as universities, government agencies, and scientific bodies. When those institutions are attacked or politicized, the experts connected to them lose credibility. The article in The Conversation notes that populist movements have been especially effective at framing experts as elitist or out of touch. Second is the digital information environment. Social media and online platforms have made it easier for people to voice their opinion on the information they come across. People no longer need institutions to interpret the world for them when they can easily find voices that challenge expert consensus if they don't agree with it or like it. As The Conversation puts it, technology has given global platforms to anyone who wants to question what institutions have established as substantial. Another shift in the digital era is that expert knowledge is often treated as just one opinion among many. When every viewpoint appears side by side in the same feed, whether it's a scientist, a commentator, or a stranger with a webcam, the difference between evidence-based experience and personal belief become harder to see. That flattening of authority makes expert consensus feel optional, even negotiable, rather than the product of training, data, and documented experience. Third is conflicting experts. The ResearchGate chapter points out that during major political or economic events, expert warnings are ignored or contradicted, sometimes by other experts. When experts disagree publicly, people fall back on intuition, identity, or emotion.
Hey, smart. Well, here, check this out. The ninja's going to make you look super smart. Here's a video we're going to show you. It's probably going to be backwards, okay? It's just the way I do things. Of Ben Bernanke speaking. So let's just listen to him. And this was in 2005 when I started selling all my real estate because I didn't believe this moron.
And then came COVID-19. At the beginning of the pandemic, trust briefly rose. But as guidance changed, as experts contradicted each other, and as misinformation spread, trust collapsed. Harvard Medicine Magazine reports that trust in scientists fell from 58% in early 2020 to about 36% by 2025. Trust in doctors and hospitals dropped from around 70% to just over 40%. The pandemic didn't create distrust as much as it accelerated it. But the decline isn't just about politics or pandemics. Communication research shows something deeper. People trust experts less when their explanations feel abstract, technical, or disconnected from everyday life. The National Academies of Sciences landmark report on science communication explains that people rely heavily on lived experience and emotions when evaluating expert claims. When experts speak in ways that don't connect to that lived experience, trust erodes even if the information is accurate. Dr. Matt Draper, a clinical psychologist and director of Paramita Perspectives, as well as a former university professor, sees that conflict firsthand in the courtroom.
Well, one of the things that when it comes to decreasing trust in experts, one of the things that I've done a fair bit of is, like, I've worked in prisons, I've consulted with police departments, and in court cases, you find that expert witnesses are often disliked by juries. Well, then it begs the question, why wouldn't the jury just be open to, not necessarily like off the bat, but just at least be open to an expert witness coming in?
Draper explains that experts often appear detached, floating on what he calls a cloud of higher education, speaking in abstract terms, while the jury is reacting viscerally to the evidence they've just seen.
So, for example, I'm a psychologist. I come in, I've assessed a defendant, and I'm asked to go before the court, and I am to then present my assessment report to the court. So I come in with my grandeur and my big title, Dr. Draper, Sir Dr. Draper, right? And I come in and I start talking about all of these psychological findings with this particular defendant. The jury has just seen picture after picture of the victim, their bodies flayed open, blood splattered everywhere. Right? And then I come in and start talking about this person as though they are not the person who just committed that horrific crime. So therefore, I've just lost credibility with the jury. Not only does my title and prestige and me floating in on the cloud of higher education detach me from a jury who's often less well educated, but then the very way I talk about the problem is not in a way that relates to the jury's visceral understanding of what's going on in the case, right? They're having gut reactions to things. So another issue. I come in for the defense. The prosecution has their own psychologist who comes in for the prosecution, and they present a very different thing. We're both experts, but we're presenting mutually contradictory thing. Who then is actually an expert, right? And it turns out whichever expert witness is most charismatic, working for the most likable lawyer, is the one that is then seen as credible, not the one who actually has the most expertise in the subject matter.
His example captures the broader problem. Expertise alone no longer earns trust. Connection does. So where does that leave people? Trust in experts has been declining for decades. It accelerated during political upheaval and the pandemic. It's fueled by a lack of institutional trust, the rise of peer-to-peer information, conflicting expert messages, and communication that feels disconnected from real life. But Draper's story shows something important. People don't reject expertise because they hate experts. They reject expertise when it doesn't feel human. The challenge today isn't to convince people that experts matter. It's to help experts communicate in ways that connect emotionally, clearly, and directly to lived experience. Because trust isn't just about what experts know. It's about how they make people feel.